Hello, everyone. It's me, Grant, the movie and TV guy. Hello. I know I'm a little late for this, but I am now here with part 3 of the goodie bag. We are going to finish this puppy up. So, movies and TV is what we do here. Let's jump right into it. Where we last left off, I believe we talked about Why Women Kill Season 2. We talked about the movies that made us Season 2, and we talked about Never Have I Ever Season 2. All of them pretty crunch across the board I love. So let's wrap this puppy up. We're going to start with a show that is not on a lot of radars, but should be. It's a show, this is part 1 of Season 2. Part 2 is coming later this year. They've already greenlit a 3rd season, and that is Central Park. This show is an animated series, musical series on Apple TV+, who's been having quite a boom with terrific TV musicals. Tweet this at Schmigadoon. We'll get there. We're definitely going to talk about that one in a future episode. It's great. And the co-creator of this is Josh Gad. So what's Central Park about? Well, it focuses on various characters around Central Park. It focuses on sort of a park supervisor played by Leslie Odom Jr. and his wife, Catherine Hahn, and his 2 children. One of whom, the daughter was played in the first season by Kristen Bell, but then in season 2... she was replaced by, I can't think of the actress' name, but she played Allison on The Umbrella Academy. And then also Titus Burgess is the son. And basically, their family. And then also all the while, we have our troubadour singing narrator Birdie, played by Josh Gad. As well as the villainous Bitsy Brandon Ham, who is played by Stanley Tucci. It is a female character, but she is played by Stanley Tucci. Who is plotting to... destroy Central Park to put in her new building, and then also her long-suffering assistant, who is played by Daveed Diggs, who is plotting against her. And they all come together and sing their hearts out their various misadventures in Central Park. Look, Central Park is excellent. If you haven't seen Central Park yet, it's on Apple TV Plus again, and this show is wonderful. I initially got Apple TV Plus to watch Amazing Stories, and I decided to keep it because of this show. No, I have not seen Mythic Quest yet. No, I have not seen Ted Lasso yet. They're on my list, I know. But this show is great. Tons of catchy songs. They even have the music on Spotify. It's quite good. Lovable characters, good humor and emotion, along with Josh Gad's. It has some of the creative team behind Bob's Burgers, so it has that same kind of, and home movies, so it has that same kind of deadpan humor. I love this show. I think it's great, and you should check it out. There's not much more to say. Central Park is great, great, great. It'll make you want to sing your heart out, and I'm going to give Central Park Season 2, Part 1, 5 out of 5 stars. This show is fantastic. Alright, moving on. Speaking of musicals... the next thing we're going to talk about, the penultimate thing we're talking about in this big old super duper thing, is one that I know you guys have been waiting to talk about. Josie, my cousin, I see you. I'm going to talk about it, and that is High School Musical, the series, Season 2. So for those who guessed from the quite clever title, this is a Disney Plus series. It is based on the High School Musical franchise. Now, I was in junior high when High School Musical came out, and I was, roughly in high school, entering high school when the 3rd film came out. I definitely watched it. So this was a nice nostalgia trip for me. But basically, the show goes like this. It's a mockumentary a la The Office or Parks and Rec, but it's centering on the school, the real-life East High, where the, East High Wildcats, which is funny because I've actually been to that school. I have family in Salt Lake City, Utah, so I've actually been to the school they shot High School Musical and they shoot this series in. I actually have been on the set of this show, before it was filmed, of course, but years ago when the movies were out. It's not called East High, I can tell you that right now, but in this show, it's a mockumentary where basically the movies exist in the universe of this show, and without it. So you have, it's basically these students... such as Nina or Nini. She is played by arguably the most famous person in this film, or in this show rather, Olivia Rodrigo, who's quite terrific. She's a fantastic singer and a phenomenal actress, and she also She has her on-again, off-again love interest, Ricky, played by Joshua Bassett. We'll get there. And some other people that kind of come in and out, and the show is including Sophia Wiley from Andy Mack. And basically, they're theater kids. And Kate Reinders is the excellent, bubbly, nervous wreck that is Miss Jen, who is their drama teacher. And in the first season, she tries to put on a production of High School Musical, but this season, to shake things up, she decided, and to impress her rival, played by Derek Huff, she is going to do a production of Disney's Beauty and the Beast. And so is the rival school that he's from, led by one of the best discoveries of this season, who's played by the actress Olivia Rose Keegan. Her name is Lily, who, let's be honest, she looks kind of like Sabrina Carpenter. Like, can we just be real? Who's also trying to steal Ricky's heart. Drama ensues. I love this show. This show is really neat. I finally get what the teenagers are talking about with this one. It's satirical. It's a Disney Channel property, but it's a more kind of grown-up sense of humor. It's very deadpan. The original songs are quite catchy. The drama works. The funny parts work. This season we have kind of an Andy Mack reunion because Asher Angel shows up for a bit, who was Jonah Beck to me. Now he's Shazam. He's Billy Batson, but it was kind of a nice little thing with him and Sophia Wiley. If there's one flaw I have with this season is that I feel like it's becoming less and less of a High School Musical themed show by having it be Beauty and the Beast. That's my one flaw. Other thing, this is not a flaw, but it's just an observation. Anyone who knows the real life drama about Olivia Rodrigo and Joshua Bassett, which I'm in the middle of it, I'm a fan of these actors, will notice that this season they really, really jump through hoops to make it to have as many scenes without them on screen together as possible. It really feels like they're doing this intentionally, and it's kind of funny, where she's off in acting class for a few episodes. There's another chunk where she's kind of doing she's not in the play this season, and she's just doing, like, whatever prop work, so she doesn't have to be with Ricky. Kind of a weird situation, but otherwise, I really enjoyed this show. I like the in-jokes, I like the music, I like that it's both, it kind of has that Brady Bunch movie thing where it's, or even, like, more recently, the surprisingly not bad Dora the Explorer film, where it's a spoof, but it's an affectionate one. So if you like the source material, you can also enjoy it, and it's not mean-spirited about it. I'm going to give High School Musical, the series, Season 2, 4.5 out of 5 stars. Not perfect, but I'm definitely game for a third season. Yeah. So, and also Olivia Rodrigo, you're a star. I really liked your album. It's a really good album. Your concert that you did, that was really cool. You're a very talented young woman. So, and so are all these kids on this show. They're all extremely talented, so 4.5 out of 5 stars. Alright. Now the next one. The final film, or series rather, sorry, talking about the TV review roundup, is one that's gotten a bit of controversy. Is it justified? Let's see. And that is The Prince. This show is on HBO Max. It is a 15-minute long animated series. There's 12 episode seasons. I watched all 12 episodes. Let's talk about it. What is The Prince? It's a satire on the royal family from the point of view of Little Prince George. Has an all-star cast. You got people in there like Orlando Bloom, or as I call him, Orlando Bloom and Onion. Thanks, Robot Chicken. You got Sophie Turner. You got people like Lucy Punch and Dan Stevens and Ewan Rowan and a bunch of different really good actors. Francis de la Tour and Alan Cumming. Basically, this show... Let's just jump right into it. I get the criticism that some people have toward it in regard to the choice of target. However, I'm not necessarily going to get upset about it because, to me, I'm of the opinion that in comedy, all satire is welcome. All targets of satire are welcome. It's never, it's all or nothing. You either make fun of everything, you make fun of nothing as far as I'm concerned. So it's not necessarily, I'm not going to necessarily start a riot over the fact that it's focused on Prince George. The bigger problem with The Prince, really for me, is not this choice of satirical target, but just how not funny enough the show is. It really is not that funny. I mean, every once in a while there are, let's put it this way, once an episode there's maybe a kind of, like a line that'll catch me off guard, that'll be kind of funny. Like there's one where it's, he's going to be in a school play, and one of the servants goes, like, I was, young man, when I was in Oliver when I was in school, and Prince George is like, oh, it looks like you're still living. And he goes, I hate that kid. Like, moments like that, we're like, okay. But I think what's frustrating is that the prince, the least interesting character is Prince George. He's basically a Stewie Griffin type character. Everyone around him is more interesting. I actually kind of liked the plots involving William and Kate, their marital problems. I liked the stuff involving some good running bits involving Meghan Markle and the fact that no one, even Harry himself, don't remember the name of their child, which is kind of good dark humor. My favorite character far and away on this show, if I had to pick one, is the character of Owen, who's voiced by Alan Cumming. And his character is kind of the long-suffering butler, personal butler and kind of best friend of Prince George, who always kind of takes on the chin. He's a lovable character. But the problem with the show is that a lot of times, though those moments kind of work and little individual things, there are so many jokes that they don't really explore enough. Like, for instance, a joke that's maybe funny the first couple times is the fact that Camilla is such a non-entity that she only gets, like, some kind of, gets, like, maybe half a line toward the end of the season, but yet is constantly chastised by everyone and hated by everyone. And that could have been a really funny running gag, but the problem is, it really is just the same joke over and over for 12 episodes with very little variation. It's, oh, everyone hates Camilla. That's it. It doesn't really build any comic momentum. It's just the same thing. Things about, the recently departed Prince Philip, which, boy, that was an unfortunate bit of timing, where it's basically like, it's kind of amusing at first that he's so old that he can't do anything at first, and you're like, oh, this is the same joke over and over. But then there are other ideas that are potentially interesting forms of kind of dark satire that they leave on the table. Like, they have these chefs who apparently are the only ones who can make this kind of tart that the queen likes, but they leave them in a cave so long that they basically become like the deformed cannibalistic mutant monster abductees from the Loved Ones that, like, Lola and Daddy put in the dungeon. And they basically are the only ones who know how to make it, and they become like subhuman, like flesh-eating creatures. That could have been kind of funny in a twisted sort of way if you really explored that. But they don't really go anywhere with it until the end of the season, and by then it doesn't really build any momentum because it's a cliffhanger, so you don't really get any idea of what really the plan is or what they're even going to do. Overall, The Prince has its moments, but it's a little disjointed. I don't think it necessarily deserves all the controversy, mainly because I think even as a satire of the royal kids, it's kind of weak sauce. It's not even that funny. And I'm not saying that to be mean. What I'm saying is that satire is satire. I feel like if this were a singular joke about Prince George in an episode of Family Guy, maybe, people wouldn't be so mad. But I kind of understand people's frustration at the fact that the whole show is built around making fun of the royal family through the kids. I feel like there was a better conduit for that. I feel like they didn't need to make fun of Prince George directly because he is a kid. I mean, it did feel like a lot of the best jokes were relating to the adults anyway, so there was really kind of no point. It did kind of come off as a little bit mean-spirited, maybe just a little bit. But overall, the biggest sin against The Prince is just that it's not consistently funny enough. Every once in a while, there's kind of a moment that works, an episode that kind of stands out. I like the one about Owen, kind of the butler, in his regular life, trying to just live a normal life among his community. There was kind of a whole episode about him, but overall, I may watch more of The Prince, but if they cancel it, I'm not going to lose a lot of sleep over it. I'll give The Prince 2.5 out of 5 stars. It's kind of down the middle. There are things in it that work, but the controversy isn't necessarily fully justified, but the negativity toward it is. Because it just doesn't work. Alright, 2.5 out of 5 stars. I'm gonna go. So, that's the end of our goodie bag. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll try to get Solo out soon. Later tonight, I'm planning on watching Pray Away, so look out for that. The new documentary on Netflix. And that'll be next time. Until next time, I'm Grant the Movie and TV Guy. I see it all. I'm happy to share it with you. I love you all. I appreciate you all. I love you all, classmates. I love you 3000. Be kind to one another. Check me out on Letterboxd at Grant the Movie and TV Guy. And like, subscribe, hit the bell, whatever it does, and all that happy jazz. And yeah, thank you all. Take care. See you soon. Bye bye.